Is it on?
Yeah.
Hey everybody.
Hi.
How are y'all?
It is icy in St. Louis, and on the way here, we made it. The ancestors held us down.
Yeah.
We made it safely. I was sliding all over the place, but
Yeah.
we're here.
It straight up took me an hour and a half to get somewhere that normally takes me 20 minutes. So we're trying to just, get it all together.
Get
right
together.
Because we wanted to be here for you.
I'm Rafaela.
I'm Delisha.
And we are the creators of Afrosexology. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely Friday evening.
Hey.
Join us for our pillow talk. We are going to have a good time tonight. So feel free to get comfortable, relax.
Because we are.
Right. And play some tunes if you need to. And we are going to get into some business.
Full hour of us answering your questions. Thank you all so much for submitting those questions. Those were amazing questions. Got me doing a lot of research and thinking about my life. Yeah.
My hair catch a flag. Keep looking back like this. Get a little closer to you.
Oh my god, it's all good. Okay. So, we're going to get into it. Let's pick a question.
All right, so we put your questions in a lovely jar. Ready?
Okay. Okay. How to go about trying out for the first time a sexual activity or kink? What would be the first few steps before taking action? Okay. Kink.
Or any sexual act.
Yes,
That's new
sexual
to
activity
you.
or kink. Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like fun, first of all. Wanted to get out there and try some new things, switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say whenever you want to start or try anything new, to communicate to whoever your lover is going to be for that moment, what it is that you want to try. Make sure that you all are on the same page. Think about boundaries. Think about triggers. Think about what's the safe word we're going to use if anything goes wrong or if something's not pleasurable anymore. And just be open-minded and explore and give yourself permission to really go to that space that you're desiring to go to. Yeah, those would be my initial first steps. Read up on it, make sure you're doing it right. I remember when we were at a BDSM intro session and she taught us the right way to choke, and I was like, oh, see, I wasn't.
Right. So you were
I was just doing this, and I thought that you just choke someone how you choke people in the movies. And she said, no, you want to actually hold up here to where you're not actually hitting any windpipes or anything that would stop someone from breathing. So it's just the feeling of choking, but not actually choking. So I think
also the blood circulation is really what you're going for. You're not trying to restrict someone from breathing. You're just trying to slow down the blood circulation in that area. So
yeah, so I think that showed me that there is a lot of information to learn when it comes to exploring these things and to do it correctly. They had a whole chart on the safe spaces to spank somebody to where it wouldn't be too painful, but
right,
it would be painful
you want to get
enough.
the meaty areas, you
Yeah.
know, so. And also, if you're, if you're in a certain area, try to find a community so that you can connect with people and learn a little bit more from people who are experienced. And like we say, we want your sexual experience to be satisfying in all regards. Doesn't mean that you have to like it, but it's satisfying in the sense that you tried something new, you communicated with your partner, you were able to say yes, no, more, stop. I don't like this right now, maybe we'll try it again in a week, and you feel comfortable doing that. So that is going to be a satisfying experience. So,
I think a lot of times when people think about kink, they go automatically to BDSM, and there's just so much stuff that you can try in between that. So just starting off really small or slow with your partner, especially if your lover is BDS, kink, you try to put me in some whips and stuff like that. Yeah. Which are, they're there, go for it. That's what y'all want. But a lot of times just start with restriction, right? So maybe just tying up the hands, use a tie or any there's what did you got? You got body tape?
Yeah. Self-adhesive tape.
Yes. Blindfolds, spankings, choking.
Feather teasing,
Yeah. That was cool. What did she use? A head scratcher? Those head scratchers that black people. Well, I'm not saying that because I can use it on my hair because it would get stuck in my kinks. But the little head scratcher that does this thing, she was like using it on people's bodies, and like you were just feeling sensations everywhere. Then there was the suction cups that could like, nipple clamps. Yeah, so just a lot of different things that you could think about and try if you want to explore without going to what we typically see.
Right. And explore and be creative, because you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars at your local toy store, when you can maybe get, like for nipple cramps, maybe you have one of the hangers where it has like the pant pant clippers, so you can put that on.
Smaller scale, hair clips.
You know, you gotta find out what the intensity is that you like. Some stuff in the kitchen, there are a lot of things like rolling pins, maybe you want to play with pressure. So try some stuff that's for your own house and see how that goes for you.
Right, but consent is the one thing that the kink community does amazingly, and I wish that they would teach everyone about consent, because most of the relationships there are like contracts going into it about what we will and will not do, what our safe word is, like how do we like constantly checking in with each other, what does our care look like after we get done exploring. So if it is something that is like you're the submissive and I'm the dom, like after we get done, what are we doing to make sure that our relationship is okay, and that what happened during that kink experience doesn't like seep into our other aspects of a relationship.
And also our yes or no worksheet on our website. Check that out.
Our website is great.
Afrosexology.com. There's a resource section on there, and there's a worksheet called Yes or No.
Yeah.
It was adapted from the Yes, No, Maybe checklist, and it has a bunch of different sexual acts that you can go through with your lover, with your partner, and see what's up before you try it. So just kind of get an idea of what you may be into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to our boy who we met down Sex Down South, Orpheus Black. He is amazing, and he is a black guy who's really big in the kink community. And so he's someone to follow on social media, to just like learn more about it. He has a lot of great conversations, and he's also just like an amazing individual.
Really real.
Yeah.
A lot of insight.
Yeah.
And he gives a lot of good tips. If you follow him on Twitter, he's always posting some really rich information. So check him out.
And I remember like, so I'm like, I wasn't even planning on like booking like a BDSM session with Orpheus or whatever. And I was just like, oh, he ain't my type, whatever, like, I'm going to chill. But I remember how attentive he was throughout the entire conference. Like, he was walking with someone who he was going to do a session.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, hey, Orpheus. And he was just like, kind of like nodded and then like kept walking. And then he like got done with the person he was with, came back to me, like grabbed my hand and was like, good morning. And so I let you know that like, I saw you and I heard you. And I was just like, you gonna be a great dominant partner because you know how to take care of people. Stop me up for your session, boy. He was just so attentive that I was just like, I would totally trust you to be a dom. Like you were just like, I was just saying good morning, like, hey, how you doing? And you like came back and was like, affirm me, let me know that you saw me. And I think when you're like looking for a partner, because there are partners who are not your romantic partners, who are just like partners for your fetish or whatever you want to get into. That knowing that this is someone that you can trust and that like listens to you and affirms you and that like you feel safe with is so amazing. Like it's so important to find, and I just like instantly felt that with Orpheus, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm the right one. See you next year. Also wanted to shout out our girl Lady D. Lady D was amazing. We also met her in Atlanta. I think I wrote down her website. I think it was like Lady D PEP, like something like that. But she is a black woman who was a dom. Her website has a lot of like great stuff. She does workshops in Atlanta. Amazing. Been in the game 4 minutes. Has taught so many black people about kink. Just an amazing spirit.
Yes.
Such an amazing spirit.
Yes.
And then someone who we do not know, but I've like listened to her talk about podcast. Melina, who does what is it? The perverted negress. Her tagline is not just the hair that's kinky, which I love. And she is a black woman who I think participates mainly as a sub, and so she has like a lot of really great articles about that and about even the challenges of being into kink and being black and race play and all that stuff. So she is someone who I think is like a great resource to check out. Who? Fashionista Jones. So
Fashionista Jones, you can check her out. Instagram, Twitter, all those cool places. She is a social worker activist. She's big in the queer and kink community. She's written a lot of books and other materials on the kink community. What is it?
Fashionista. I was like, who is it? Feminist. Alright,
that's just because I'm cute, because I'm fashionable. So I was just thinking, you cute, I'm cute. We just got our fashion costume. I'm sick, y'all. Okay. Feminista. Feminista Jones.
Yes.
Sounded out. It's spelled just the way it sounds.
Great. And then jet setting Jasmine. Jasmine and King Noir. That is a beautiful couple. And they were playing with the candles and the spanking and the whipping, and they're great. And they had some really great, I don't know if they would identify as like sex positive porn, but it was, I mean, it was I feel positive about that experience. I feel positive about watching their porn and watching them perform. So I think they're also someone or a couple to check out. So that's Jet Setting Jasmine. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it for King. Thank you for that question.
All right.
You want to put
we have any questions on
no, I think we're good right now.
Next one. Gotta, lottery or something. Insecure. I want to talk about Molly's dude who had sex with a guy and she broke up with him.
Okay.
So I've heard about what happened on the internets. I am a little behind on the series.
Oh, you still behind?
Listen, I don't have cable. I don't have any. I don't have these fun things that the youngins have. Okay. But I did hear about it, and I can add some input. But since you've seen the episode, go ahead and brief them real quick.
Oh my God, Insecure was so good. There's so many things to talk about. Amazing sex scenes. But that situation with Molly, and I can't remember old dude's name, it was so hard. Because like she had sat there and talked about how she had sex with a girl one time in college, and he was like, oh, I did the same thing, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, but you're gay, or you're bi. He was like, no, you want to try it, yeah, right. And I just don't think it's fair that we allow women, or those of us who identify as women, like this freedom to explore sexuality and not to be boxed in because we did one thing, and we don't allow men the same exploration of freedom. And like, especially because a huge part of sex for me is exploration. So like one day I might be like, you know what, I'm gonna try this thing, and then I don't like it, and then that was what it was. Right. It wasn't like that was a negative experience, or like I'm so pissed about the experience, or that experience defines me or my identity. It's like I tried something because I explored. I thought maybe it was something I was going to be into, and it turned out that it wasn't, and it is what it is. And so I was really hurt by her decision to leave him because of that.
That's a tough one, because that's what, opening up yourself and being liberated and your sexuality is all about, is going out there exploring new things. And again, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and keep it moving. And for people to be judged by their experiences really sucks. And we already know what society tells people about how they should perform a lot of things in terms of sexuality, identity, and gender. So there are a lot of closed, tight spaces. But there was something else that happened in that episode I heard about, right? With let me stop guessing, because
there was a lot that happened.
Oh, really? Someone was talking about like, what do you do like if you can't meet someone's needs or something? Like,
So that it depends on how open you want your relationship to be. But I think people assume that like if you're bi, that means that there's something that you want that I can't give you. Instead of just assuming that this person is with you because they want to be with you. Right. And if they're monogamous, it's because they want to be in a monogamous relationship with you. And just focus on giving them what you can and what they need from you, and not